right, folks. Great. Y'all know what I'm about to say. Great evening. I am so excited to be back live with you guys tonight. We hope that you've had the most amazing weekend ever. We hope that, yesterday I posted about it. I hope that y'all were able to rub your feet together while you were eating some ice cream and like binge watching something, right? So go ahead right now, do me a favor, drop it in the chat. Tell us hello. Tell us where you're joining us from. We are so super excited to have you. And can I tell you, I really believe this is going to be our best Boss Moves live yet, because I have two legends in these streets, in these education streets on with us tonight. But go ahead and drop it in the chat. What are you drinking? So tonight, y'all, I have been talking straight 7 straight days, talking and singing straight, right? We had an amazing Jack and Jill super cluster event yesterday, y'all, that we had some babies from across the state of Mississippi and Alabama that convened for an amazing day. And we had a speaking competition, an oratorical, y'all. Those students, those babies left all of us with the hair on edge on our feet because they just were so phenomenal. So I want to challenge you this week to look for a child, a scholar being amazing. But here we go, y'all. We're going to get the party started. But I said that to say what's in my cup, y'all. It's lemon tea and a whole bunch of honey because my voice is leaving me. But it's okay because I got 2 other folks that are joining us today that are coming to this stage that have a voice that you need to hear. Welcome, ladies.
Hello. Thank you.
How are y'all doing?
Thank you.
Well,
listen, I'm so excited.
Right.
Y'all. Thank you for being willing to join us. So, y'all, I really wanted these ladies on last month because y'all know it was Women's History Month. Listen, but they are booked and busy. Doing the work, right? So I'm so excited to kick off this month of April with them, still very relevant, right? Because this month is Stress Awareness Month. And we know leading as ladies, it is not an easy task, right? And so I'm so excited to have them. Let me tell you a little bit about them, and we're going to jump in this conversation because it's going to be good. It's going to be real good, right? So first up, we have Dr. Kimberly Warfield Sturdivant. Did I say it right?
That is correct. Yes.
Listen, we're going to tell her congratulations. She's a newlywed, y'all. She's a newlywed. Love, right? Love wins. She is an associate professor, Mississippi at Jacksonville State University, and currently teaches in the instructional leadership and teacher leader programs. Prior to joining the Department of Professional Counseling and Leadership, she served as a principal and assistant principal in the Jackson Public School District in Jackson, Mississippi. During her tenure there, she was actively involved in being an instructional leader, mentoring and nurturing new teachers and future leaders, preparing students for academic success, and building relationships with staff, parents, and community members. In addition to her administrative experience, Dr. Warfield Sturdivant spent several years in the classroom as a life science teacher, adjunct science instructor, school improvement, and leadership coach with state agencies and local districts. As an educator, she is continuously seeking creative ways to foster dynamic learning environments, promote high-quality instruction, and provide practical experiences and mentor future instructional leaders. Y'all, she obtained her BS and her MS degrees in biology, from the Jackson State University in Jackson, Mississippi, and her ed specialist and her doctorate of education degrees in ed leadership from Mississippi College in Clinton. Again, y'all give her some love in the chat. Just drop a couple of hearts, right? We are so excited to have you. We also have here with us the one, the only Dr. Jocelyn Whipps. She is a native of Fayette, Mississippi. She's earned her bachelor's degrees within special education with minors in early childhood education in Spanish. I didn't realize that.
See?
Muy bien, yes. From Tougaloo College, she then obtained a Master of Education in Elementary Education and her Educational Specialist degree in Ed Leadership from Mississippi College. Dr. Whipps completed her Doctorate of Education at Jones University in San Antonio, Colorado. With over 22 years in education, Dr. Whipps has held various roles, including special education teacher, special education teacher coach, assistant director of special education, director of education, of special education. She is currently employed in the Rankin County School District and serves as an assistant principal at the Brandon High School. Additionally, she has worked as an adjunct professor for aspiring teachers and candidates. In her spare time, she's a boy mom, and she enjoys traveling to new places, experiencing new things, and just watching her baby play football. Yes, we are so excited to have you guys here with us. Now, before we jump in, y'all know what to do. Y'all know Facebook algorithms, they're really weird. So what we need you to do right now is hit the like button, hit the share button, because Boss Moves is all about us sharing the good stuff with as many people as we possibly can. All right, ladies, let's get the ball rolling. Give me one word. If there had to be one word to describe you as a leader, what's that one word and why? Again, one word to describe you as a leader. What's that word and why?
Okay. You want to go first, Dr. Whipps, or?
I would describe myself as consistent. And the reason I say that, and those that work with me know that I say it all the time, you have to train people on how to deal with you, but not in a bad way. But if they know that you're going to be that one that's going to follow up, follow through, and do those things, they're going to basically be the ones that's going to come to you for that. And that's the same with even students. You know, you walk in the hallway, most times you don't have to say anything, and they start tucking in the shirts or taking the hoods off or whatever the case may be. And so I would definitely say consistent, because that's what I aim to do. And once others see how you are, they just know, what to expect. They could probably tell you the answer before they even bring it to you. So
I love it. Consistency. Come on with it. Consistency. Y'all, she's dropping leadership gems already. She said we got to teach people how to treat us. Right?
You got to train them.
Train them. Wait a minute. She said we got to train them. I love it. I love it. Newlywed, what you got? What's your one word to describe you and why?
Oh, wow. I guess in the leadership aspect, the word that comes to mind is relational. Yeah. I am a firm believer in building relational leadership, relationships.
Yeah.
And that's just thinking about my tenure as a teacher, as an administrator, as a coach. In order to be effective, it is very important that you build relationships with individuals. You never know when you may have to come back around in that bridge. Now, sometimes they have to be burned for certain reasons, but you want to keep in mind and building quality relationships with individuals, letting them know that you trust, that they can trust you, that you care about them, and that your actions are genuine. So relational jumps out immediately for me.
I love that. That is so very important. And I believe now more than ever, like, people are not fooling with the fake.
No,
they just aren't, right? And so we're going to jump into that. Y'all know Boss Move stands for being bold, optimistic, spontaneous, and substantial. So here we go. What do you guys think? And I'm going to start this with you, newlywed. Again, y'all, I keep saying that because I'm so excited. Right? We're so excited about it, right? What are the top 3 characteristics needed to be an effective leader? Based on, because again, y'all, I said it, she's a legend in these streets, right? So not only just in the state of Mississippi, across Alabama and several other states, right? You are a legend for helping build leadership capacity. Based on your experience, right? What have you seen is really those top 3 characteristics that the folks need to be effective in these leadership seats?
Okay. First and foremost is communication. Oh, you got to be effective a communicator that's either verbally, written, and sometimes you have to put on that poker face when you don't want to, but definitely an effective communicator. How you relay your messages, how you present yourself as a leader is definitely important. So first one I would say is an effective communicator. Next, as an effective leader, I want to circle back around to building relationships, because in a leadership seat, you are not in that seat alone, even though it is lonely at the top when you're in certain positions, but you are relying on others to help you get the job done. And if they see that you are building quality relationships with them and you are supporting them, which is key in building those relationships, hey, you all can move mountains together.
Yes.
So the second one would be relationships. And the next one, it's so many, but I'm probably going to go with you can't be afraid. And now I'm going to think on something that always talking to my students about is that you can't be afraid of having those courageous conversations.
Yes.
So you have to be willing to have those uncomfortable conversations and dialogue, because it could be for that teacher, that staff, that member of the organization best interest for you to try to help them navigate towards being their best selves, or it may lead down a road where, hey, this relationship is not working out. Hey, we may have to end this. But as an effective leader, I think a lot of leaders shy away from having those difficult conversations. But a great leader will not shy away from it, or an effective one, because those have to be had.
Yes. Y'all drop it in the chat. Y'all heard her 3. She said communication, relationships, and courageous conversations. That's really, 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 really some foundational skills that we need. Again, I'll say that again. She said communication, relationships, and courageous conversations. Y'all drop that in the chat. All right, Dr. Whipps, what you got for us?
And that's what is so ironic about this. I don't know if it's because I've been knowing Kim about 20 years at this point, and a lot of the things she said are also on my list. Because the first thing I thought about was being bold. And of course, I may have stolen that from, your boss piece here, but I'm that one that is normally the one that will say what everyone is thinking. Because again, you have to be able to go ahead and eat that elephant. And I don't think that you can get to true problem solving unless you address those elephants that are in the room. So be it, if you're even dealing with the students, if you're dealing with the adults, whatever the case may be, you're going to have those conversations. The next one that I would say is just the knowledge. Because you could be bold all day, but if you don't know what you're talking about, nobody's going to be following. You better be studied, and you better know what it is that you're talking about. So that's definitely how you gain the confidence of others that you're actually serving. And the other one, and if people know me, they know that I'm very relational. And I go back to what Kim shared, because I love to have a good time, be it at work, whatever the case may be. I'm stopping students in the hallways. I'm always trying to, see what can I do to just brighten someone's day. So I would definitely say, like I said before, bold, being knowledgeable of your area, your content, and what you're doing. And then also just being relational, because if they don't feel that they can come to you, they're not.
Listen, too many of us have silent meetings, silent organizations when we are at the table. But now outside of the table, in the parking lot, right, in the lunchroom, in the like people are talking. And I think as a leader, we've got to reflect on that. If nobody is willing to talk to me, hashtag Houston, we got a problem. We really got to reflect on, am I a good listener? Do people know that I value what they bring to the table? This is not a question I had planned, but I'm going here because what you just said is so true. Y'all, her top 3, and y'all drop it in the chat now. She said being bold, knowledgeable, because don't be bold and you don't know what you're talking about.
Not a good thing.
Saying the wrong stuff, okay? This is a real conversation that we've got to have. And then she talked about being relational. People ask me often in my career, how did I get so well versed in SPED? And I quickly, without thinking twice, said, do you know Jocelyn Whipps? Have you heard? I can say, and I want to affirm you right now, honey, that Dr. LaQuanta Nelson has gained so much wealth, and I was a better administrator from the time we met to after. Because y'all, when she say knowledgeable, not bold and knowledgeable, I will never forget. I mean, we could be in a meeting, y'all, and she was the exceptional education director, SPED director. We would be in a meeting, and look, she would sit up. That communication and no relation. She's gonna sit up. She's gonna square her shoulders back. And the question now, a free and appropriate education. But are we? Are we providing? Are we providing for? I mean, like I just learned so much about, again, the world of SPED, because again, I'm a math teacher, right? I didn't know. So you had to learn these things. And so I was just so privileged to spend my first couple of years as an assistant principal, and then even my first years as a principal, like under your leadership as a SPED director. Because anybody can attest, baby, if you were going, you had, and you know what? You started out by saying, you train people how to treat you. Teachers knew if they were coming to meet with a Dr. Whipps, they had to have
to be.
So, and this goes for you as well, because you alluded to this too about courageous conversations. What do you say to someone who is a leader who is struggling with having courageous conversations? Like, what's your word of advice? Because I see, and I'm gonna tell you, because everybody knows, like right now, teachers have options. There is such a shortage everywhere. And I'm talking about high performance schools to low and all in between. Teachers have options, right? And so we need to have some conversations, but people are like walking on skates on ice, right? Because it's like, wait a minute, if I hold them accountable, do they run, right? So what do you say to leaders who are struggling through being bold and having those courageous conversations?
Remembering your why.
Yeah.
Because we are here for the kids, regardless of the level of education. You could be at the district office, you could be sitting in an office at the school, you could be the teacher, but you have to remember your why. And I think that if we bring it back to why we are in existence, it makes the conversation easier to have, because at the end of the day, kids are waiting for us, the students are waiting for us to be those courageous leaders for them and to speak on their behalf and to make sure that they're getting what they need. And then, of course, from a district standpoint, from that experience, making sure that you're setting that tone at the top, that it's all about the kids and giving them what they need. So if you remember your why, it makes it very much so easier to have that conversation. And then too, because I've had several conversations over the years, also remembering that if you're having conversations that, if we've had these conversations, let's say this, you set the expectation, you're able to go back to, this is what we discussed, this is what the expectation is. So help me to understand, was there a question about, what was delivered? Was there a question about the implementation piece? Help me to understand how to help you. Because one thing that I will attribute to the late Gerald Hasselman, he said the best way to get rid of a bad teacher is to make them a good one.
That's
because
right.
they're in the field. And I think that to some degree, in every aspect of the careers that we've been in, the roles that we've been in, there's been a growth component. Yes. So you must remember that there's a starting point, and you're going to have to help them to build. Now, some of them will build, and some of them, they realize that maybe either being under my leadership is not necessarily the best thing for them, or just being in education isn't. But I think that as we're looking at even school improvement plans, or even teacher improvement plans, let me say that, you really want to help them, because they are here in your building. They are certified. Like, let's see how we can grow that person, because I'm going to be honest, anyone can say something in an interview, and that's a chance that you're taking versus the person that's already there. So just remembering that why, and just being willing to have that conversation.
All right, what do you say to your leaders that you're building, Dr. Sturdivant? What do you say about courageous conversations? Where do we get started with it?
Yes, and definitely a lot of points that Jocelyn pointed out is definitely when you start with your expectations and the outcomes, it makes it much more easier. And so what I've seen is that a lot of leaders may not necessarily start out and communicate them effectively. So therein lies a problem when it's time to have those conversations, because you have not had that sit down 1. You have not had sit down 2 and sit down 3. And now when we're at 4 and it's time to start looking at a plan of assistance or a plan of improvement, then that's where they get nervous, because they don't have that one key word that anybody that worked up under me would tell you Warfield is going to drill on: documentation. Documentation rules the nation. So if you are not thoroughly documented in your steps in trying to help them become better, that's when it becomes a problem. But like Dr. Whipps also said, understanding your why. And so we are in an era where we have a lot of teacher shortage. So let's say, hey, you may have a science teacher that you're scared to approach because you know that they may leave. But guess what? As a leader, I got to make that choice. Yes, that this teacher may leave, but then what about when I bring someone on who's receptive to coaching, to learning their content and becoming a better science teacher, versus someone that just coming here and just filling in and just collecting the check? I would take that hit as a leader, because even as a content specialist, I'm an alternate route teacher with you too. So when it comes to content, I think all of us got it. I've gone in the classroom and teach. I'll pull out my biology 1 flash drive or OneDrive within a heartbeat and let them know if I got to get in here and teach as a leader, I'm going to do that. I'm not above that, because I am an instructional leader. So having those or outlining those expectations first makes it easier. And then when you have built the relationship, once again, and come back to those relationships with your staff or your people in the organization, it tends to make it a little bit easier in my experiences, because by the time you get to that conversation, those that really know that they've not been doing what they're supposed to do, they will be like, okay, well, you know what? You're right. It may be time for me to really explore some other options. Or, hey, I really do need help. I want to stay. So now I'm going to pivot and really put forth my best effort. So you have one or two routes they're going to go.
Yeah.
But, it depends on that teacher, that staff worker, and also their receptiveness to wanting to become better.
Right. So, the other day I posted a clip and it was just talking about, are people better because you passed their way? Are people better because they had an encounter with you, right? And I think talking about your why and building capacity with others, like, we've got to be intentional about that. The other piece of this, talking about courageous conversations, y'all, every day, all day. We are either part of the solution or part of the problem in our schools, in our organizations. Like, there is no middle ground. And I think a lot of people think that they could be on the fence. But at the end of the day, I am the reason that a child is missing 1 year of great instruction, right? Or I'm the reason that, their math brain is being activated because I support the math teacher. And so I think the more that we are real about that, even though it kind of is a weight, but it also helps to drive your why. Like, you know that you are making substantial impact when you make sure that you are staying on the side of solution. And again, what's your why? What's your why? Am I helping people to get better in the process? I love it. All right, here we go. This is another one. So when I thought about y'all, both of you guys are so very real. I mean, you are real, like Dr. Whipps or just Jocelyn, like it, Kim or Dr. Sturdivant, like, you are you 24/7. And a lot of people struggle with that as it relates to stepping into leadership roles, right? Because this whole concept of a leader should look like, talk like, sound like, feel like, especially when we are shifting over and going into diverse cultures, right? Where the people that you're leading don't look like you, or the people that you're serving don't sound like you, right? And we have the tendency to want to kind of shift into a box that we think others perceive that we need to be in. But I just share with the people, what are your thoughts on, does impactful leadership and authenticity go together?
Absolutely.
Wow.
I'll just dive right on in, Dr. Warfield. Absolutely, because if you're putting on that facade, it's going to only last for so long. And eventually, and that's in any facet, the real you will come out. So I'm one, let's go ahead and give it to him on the front end. And I'm one, like, you're going to love me or you're going to hate me, but you're going to get the true and authentic me. And one thing that I have told people, and I say it all the time, is that a person can tell when I'm lying. I'm the worst at it. I look at you in your eyes. Like, if I'm looking down and having this conversation, it's a conversation. I'm just thinking of words to say. But if I'm looking at you directly in the eyes and having this conversation, you know that it's coming from just deep within, because it's just who I am. So I know no other person to be but myself.
Yes. How, go ahead and answer that, Dr. Warfield, and I'm gonna loop back around to Whipps. Where did you find the courage to show up and lead as you, not as somebody else, not as what people expected, but how did you find that? And how do you keep that?
Okay. For me, it has been through definitely experiences. Yeah. So, you don't jump into leadership day one and like, boom, okay, where we are now. But for me, it was more so watching the leaders that I worked under. And one of the same things that I encourage to my students who are aspiring principals, as you go out and you're doing your observations, please note that all leaders have different leadership styles. You're going to glean from some leaders, okay, this is what I like from them. I like how they approach this. And then you'll have some where, oh, I don't think I like that. That's not really my style. So for me, I kind of found my niche in just really being comfortable in me. How my teachers would be receptive to me versus other leaders. And then I would be like, okay, it's okay for me to be me, because it seemed like the more I would just sit down, listen, and just have like a it's professional, but informal conversation with them, they tend to gravitate it a little bit more, and just showing them that you care. And one thing also is that just like our students, working with adults is just the same. You have to differentiate. There were some, staff members that could walk in the office and they can look at me like, I'm guilty. I already know what you're about to say. Go on and fuss at me. And then there were some that would come to the door just because they knew they coming in the office, they about to cry when they walk in. And when they come in, I got to get up and hug them. Like, these are folks with more experiences than me. But I got to get up and hug them. But I am meeting them where they are as well.
Y'all drop that in the chat. I got to meet my people where they are. Drop it in the chat. That's the deal. I don't care what position you're in. You got to meet your people where they are.
They are, and they will see whether you are real or fake. So just be you, but you got to learn your audience and your people first. You just can't jump in. You got to learn them first, and then just be you. Just be you.
I love it. I love it. Y'all listen, y'all are giving the people so much good stuff already. Here we go. We're keeping the party going. Stay right there with you. How do you manage stress as a female leading in male dominated spaces? I've said this several times before. It's no secret. The stats are clear. Like, basically 80% of the population of teachers, right, are female. And look like every day, like that number is going up, and the men are like, now deuces out, I'm gonna let y'all have it, right? As it relates to being in the classroom. But when we look at the flip side of who's running schools, who's running districts, that's about 65% male. So it's this like, wait a minute, this math ain't mad. The math ain't mathing, right? So how have you guys successfully navigated, especially secondary, especially at the district level, and again, with you working at the state level as well? How have you guys been able to manage the stress that comes along with walking in heels in leadership versus the cold Huns, right? What does that look like for you?
Let me see. I'll go jump right on in. And I would be very honest and transparent. It took me a while to balance it. Even between being a high school principal, and like you said, during that time, out of 8 high schools, it was only 2 female principals. So it was like, okay, hey, I really got to come with my A game. I have no room for error, and that's still now even in higher ed. Just coming with your A game, but then also knowing, and it took me a while to realize this, is that at the end of the day, when you go home and you know you have given it 100%, there are some things you can no longer stress about. It took all these gray hairs coming in for me to really finally Warfield, you got to step back. And then for me, it was also just finding that balance to take care of me. For many years, I did not take care of me. I missed out on family functions. I missed out on a lot of activities because I was pouring so much into my school, because once again, it could not fall. I got to maintain. So, I would say, finding that outlet that you really enjoy. For me, now, after the fact, I done got off this little principal weight. Working out is my stress reliever. I would advise anybody to take care of your health. Watch what you move. And that kind of helps me to kind of balance out just a little bit. And just knowing that, hey, you can't solve everything in the day. What is one of the saying, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? You can't do it all at one day. So just navigating by just doing small chunks at a time. And hey, if you've done your best that day, I mean, hey, when I go home, I'm gonna sleep well. So just starting to have that mindset.
That's so important. Like, you give it all you got, and you give yourself some grace on top of it. Like, I'm gonna give it all I got, add a little icing of grace, and we gonna call it a day, And it goes back to one of the things you guys said earlier, like, I'm activating my why every day, and I'm letting students be the center of every decision, right? So if I'm letting that drive it, we gonna press the gas really, really hard and fast. We gonna add some grace, and then we go home and go to sleep. Go to sleep. Talking about health and wellness, y'all, it's so many administrators that are sleep deprived. Y'all go to sleep. Drop that in the chat, everybody, right now, on the count of 3. Let's drop it in the chat. Go to sleep.
Yes, let your mind rest. You gotta let it rest.
What you got? Like, how do you help people to navigate that whole stress? Because right now you are sitting in the secondary seat, and we know these 6A, 7A schools, they're high school, like men. So how are you navigating that?
Well, I think when you just look at any encounter that you have, you can't necessarily take it personal.
Yes.
And that's the first thing and of course that comes with experience as well, but it could be that mom that had that bad day and you're just getting the brunt of it. It could be whatever the case may be. It could be the boss having a bad day. You just never know. So you can't take it personal. But in this current role that I'm in, because of course, going from being a special education director or coordinator in that field, going into school leadership, there was a margin of growth for me as well, because your focus becomes different in that particular role. So knowing that I drive about 24 minutes one way, I get to get my mind right before I get there. But even coming home, I get to kind of desynthesize, you know, let me just, okay, check it. And by the time I get home, I'm like, okay, well, what's for dinner, and I'm able to just kind of focus on to that. So people question why, I still live where I live, but the drive alone is therapeutic. And so with that, that's kind of helping me to like relieve that stress heading home. And then one thing, and I actually got one yesterday, but I believe in getting me a massage monthly. Yeah. And I do that obviously, just for some personal issues that I'm having with joints and things in my legs and all those things. But it just gets you into a mental space where you can just let it all go. Yeah. And once you get up from that table, it's almost like you're refreshed. So those are things that I do, but I believe in bath bombs, shower steamers, and all that, because again, you just never know. It could be that long day, but it just helps you to desynthesize and then again, sleep well at night. Because it's funny that I say this, because a colleague and I, they were like, well, how do you sleep at night knowing this or knowing that? Because that's the first thing that people may say that you're encountering. And his response is always with the ceiling fan on. Like, I'm not letting it go. So I don't know if he's actually, but I stole that from him. And that's one of the things that I just be like, I'm going to get my sleep. I have to separate it, because if you don't, it's like you never went home and took that nap. So step away from it. And, control the things that you can, but it's about how you attack it. And I just don't want things to attack me.
Yes, y'all.
Yes. That's a gem right there, Jocelyn. That's a gem.
I'm attacking things. I'm not letting stuff attack me, right? Yeah. And you just said something else that was so important about, taking everything personal. Like when you take everything personal, it's like you just add wait. And y'all know what Erica Badu said? She said, bag lady, you gonna miss your bus, right? You can't hurry up. You got too much stuff, right? And that's the way, if you are constantly allow yourself to be offended, if you are constantly taking everything personal. And y'all, can we be honest? Sometimes people do mean it's so personal. I'm gonna lean in because we are real here. Sometimes people are intentionally trying to get you off track. Sometimes people intentionally do want to hurt your feelings. That is their intent, but you still have the ability to choose. Like you said, I'm not taking that attack. Going on somewhere.
Not today.
I learned over time, because I was always known for talking real fast. And it was Dr. Bill Sellers, when he sat in that assistant superintendent seat. He said that's quick processing speed. And I say all that to say this. If you come at me the wrong way, there's no question, or you really don't know what I'm coming back with. And of course, I'm gonna always be professional and all that, but I'm gonna say something that's gonna make you say, okay, I probably shouldn't have said that to her, or she probably caught what I was giving out. But I have some quick clapback, so to speak. And so I do emphasize that professionally.
But it goes, you are super duper quick, as Barney would say. But it goes back to what you said about being knowledgeable. You are so extremely well versed, and you are the expert, right? And so when you are the expert, it puts you in a position again to not be attacked. Right? It's very important. Right. Y'all, look, we got the one and only, the GOAT himself, Principal Cafe. Like, hey, Principal Cafe. Y'all, if you have not gotten his new book, I got my copy around here somewhere. The instructional value. Y'all Google it. It's top #1 on Amazon leadership, right? Make sure you grab that book. All of his stuff, y'all. You need every book that he's got in his plethora, right? With his Palm Pilot. Y'all grab it. All right, here we go, ladies. We almost to the end. This is a real one. This is a real one, y'all. I just left a meeting, and this was a topic that came up, because at the end of the day, when you are a high performing leader, right? Female or male, when you are you need to know that you need a tribe. You need to know that you got a sister, a brother, a community, a tribe that not just, because it's one thing to go and talk to your mom, your dad, your wife, your husband about your day. But the reality of the fact is they don't always understand the shoes that you're walking in. They can't. They've not walked in them, right? They haven't led them to school. They haven't been, the female in a male dominated space. They haven't had to deal with the IEP meetings. They haven't seen, the child. They just don't know the weight of it. And so it's critically important that, like, who's in your tribe? So here we go. I want to hear from you guys, because this is the other beautiful thing, y'all, about these two ladies. They are like the epitome of sisterhood. Like, at this point, when I think of one of them, I think of the other one, because they got each other's back. They got each other's back. So talk to me about how your sisterhood and your bond has aided you guys in your leadership journey.
Well,
wow. I'm gonna jump in and say it's been essential. Yes, I mean, and first, I'm just glad you have me on here with a fellow sister. All of us are sisters, but like Jocelyn said, we have been rocking and rolling since 2005. And even in speaking to the last question and how you handle stress, I can honestly say Jocelyn has been one of those in my tribe that I keep on speed dial. So, it doesn't matter what time of the day, morning, during the work day. I've even called her during the work day and she gonna answer. If she's not in a meeting, she's gonna answer. I'm like, Jocelyn, I really got a question. I really need to, I need your advice on this. And then from taking, trips together outside of work, having weekends together, just socializing over each other's house, just to keep that balance. Just when you think, is it me? Did I make the wrong decision? Jocelyn, okay, I need to, okay, let me run this by you. What you think? And so, and she also helps to keep me grounded. She's going to give me that good advice, but in the same breath, if she knows it's a little bit too far, like if I done went on over to 100, like Kim, okay, now, come on back. So
because accountability is love. Y'all drop that in the chat. Accountability. When you love somebody, I don't want you to get out of order. I want you to stay in order, right? Y'all dropped it. Accountability is love. I love it.
Yes. And it, the sisterhood helps to keep me balanced, especially those that have been in the seat. Like you said, if you haven't been in the seat, then you really can't offer advice or, kind of give, you nuggets. And I think for a minute, the role had turned too. So when Jocelyn got into administration, I was like, oh, honey, high school been there. So we talk about that all the time. So when she calls and she's fussing, I was like, honey, I already know. And so then, we give, we're swapping advice and we're just being there just to have that listening ear. It is essential. I mean, and needed. Yes.
I love that, y'all. Drop it in the chat. It's essential. I can't say it enough. I was leading one of my leadership academies. I'm working with several districts on their full year-long leadership academies. And we had a session last month where we did a circle. Like we did, one of my background in psychology, like we activated the circle, right? And afterwards, one of the principals pulled me aside. She said, thank you so very much for that. She said, I really thought that I was the only person in this district that was dealing with that. And so sometimes the sisterhood is just literally about knowing that you got somebody. You're not alone. You are not alone, right? Isolation is a trick of the enemy. I cannot say it enough. Talking about the stress, it is a trick of the enemy. So talk to me, Dr. Whipps. How has it been having your sister, your community? How has that helped you along your way?
It has helped so much because, of course, what she didn't share is that we actually got a degree together, and that's how we met. And it turned into taking one class together to taking every class that we needed for that degree together. And just giving that story, and then, of course, I'll get to the actual question. But it went from meeting up for lunch, for an early dinner before class, and we were talking about whatever's happening in class or what the assignment is going to be and all of that. And then it eventually just morphed into those conversations we got the degrees. I went in a different direction in terms of pursuing my degree. She went in a different one as well, but we always stay connected. And even outside of the professional calls, I can call on those personal things too, because Kim was there when I lost my mom, you know, and one of the ones that showed up all the way in Fayette, Mississippi.
Yes.
And, you know, was there, and you don't forget those things.
No.
She traveled with me all the way out of the country, you know, for my wedding. She was that one, and you don't find that in a whole lot of people. At a time was had in Jamaica, let me just say that. It was. But she is definitely one that I can echo everything that she says, and she has a way of like it, and it's the same accountability on my part. If it's something that I'm saying, or if I'm just going off, okay, with Jocelyn, you know, she's gonna be that calming voice, I would say, to kind of help bring me back. But it definitely makes it easier, because even though we've sat in different seats at the table, you understand. Even when I was at the district level and she was at the school level, leadership is leadership. You know, when you're dealing with special education, even though she wasn't dealing with it from the level that I was dealing with it from, she still understood. And so that was one that I knew that I could speak my truth. She was one that I know that, you know, whatever I said, it didn't go anywhere else. And that's key, of course, in any situation, because you don't want your business kind of floating all through the air, you know. And so that's one thing. And the thing that I just think about most recently is that, of course, those that know that I had a traumatic experience. And Kim and I, well, Dr. Warfield and I never got a chance to sit down, but she came to that school. She said, you know what, I'm in town. I'm going to just come show up on your job and let you know that I'm thinking about you. And it's like, you don't find too many people that care that much. Yeah. But I'm like, okay. And she'll tell you, somebody's here to see. I'm like, who is it? And all that. So I'm like, I'm in the cafeteria. I'm on duty. And then when I came and saw that it was her and she's bringing a gift, she brought me flowers and things like that. Like, those are the kind of friendships that you don't find too often. No. And like I said, she's going to support professionally, but she's also been there personally to help me through like times that I've gone through.
I love it. Listen, everybody needs them a buddy like a Warfield and a buddy like a Whipps. Like, and I don't want you to think that there's nobody out there for you. There is, but y'all, can we be honest? Sometimes we don't allow people in our space, right? People do have to prove themselves, but you've also got to be willing to be vulnerable enough to let somebody see the real you. You got to know it's somebody that love the real you, all of you, just like you are, and it's going to support you, right? So listen, you guys have been so amazing. Tell the people, how can they follow you? Because both of you, again, are legends in these education streets, and these people need to constantly be hearing from the two of you guys, because again, you have so much to offer. And I, again, want to say thank you so very much for being a part of my tribe, because again, iron sharpens iron. And you said something that was very important. We don't talk about this, but it's critically important that you are connected with people that you trust enough to give you guidance that you are willing to follow. We don't talk about submission from that standpoint all the time, but like you need to be in community, right? In community with somebody that you trust enough when they say, girl, you just out of order now, go back left. You might not get it, but go left. That, you know what, even if you don't like, you know what, let me go left. And so I just thank you guys for being so vulnerable. Tell us, how do these folks stay connected with you? And y'all, while they're about to drop this, listen to me. The Boss Retreat is back, and we are so excited. I cannot say this enough. We have women already who signed up from Texas, Florida, Ohio. I got one, Mississippi, right? So make sure that I'm gonna drop it in the chat. Listen, get your ticket. Don't wait. Don't wait. 30 more days. It is an experience. And if you talk to anybody who's been to a Boss Retreat, they know that it has been life transforming for them, right? This is not just professional development. That's not what this is. It's about everything that we've talked about tonight. It's about sisterhood. It's about confidence. It's about you building your own brand and building your confidence up so that you can lead with authenticity, all of those good things. But come on with it, y'all. Tell the folks, how can they follow you? Where can they go to catch you, all of your good stuff?
Okay, and I just entered my email address in the chat just so that they can have that information or refer back to it. I'm not the best at keeping my social media platforms current and just about myself and things of that sort. But I am Whipps JD on Facebook. I do share a lot from the school, share a lot about my child. But if there are any questions, if a person needs to reach out to me, jocelynwhipps@gmail.com is going to be the best place or best way to get me.
I love it. Thank you for sharing. All right, Dr. Warfield, how do we find you?
All right. Well, yes, my Facebook is not like a public one, it's more personal, but I will drop my email address. Yes. Dr. Whipps, will you drop mine? I can't, I don't want to navigate off, but while Dr. Whipps is placing it in for me, you can definitely email me at kwarfield79@gmail.com. So if you email or reach out, want to schedule the time to chat or whatever, I am available and definitely flexible. So
again, I cannot say thank you enough to the two of you ladies for being willing to share. And there's hers right there on the screen, y'all. Make sure you snap that. Again, both of these ladies have a wealth of experience in leadership, SPED, school improvement, right? Teacher recruitment, building teacher capacity, right? Student engagement, the whole gamut, A to Z. So again, we just cannot say thank you enough for being willing to share on here with us. Y'all, now listen, folks. Make sure that you can book the boss for a retreat on site, right? A lot of people book me to come in and do their leadership retreats on site. They book me to do keynotes. They book me to do training. So make sure that if your school or your organization needs a boost, a culture boost, some leadership development, y'all, let me tell you what's been the big deal lately. Conflict resolution. How is your team communicating with each other? Is your communication supporting the vision? Or is it degrading it day by day, conversation by conversation? So y'all get at us for that. But again, y'all know we want to encourage you to have boss moves this week. Ladies, one last tip for them. How can you encourage them to go be boss this week? And y'all know boss stands for being bold, optimistic, spontaneous, and substantial. What's your parting gift to them to walk out of their house tomorrow, wherever they're going, and to go be boss and to be amazing leaders? What's that tip for?
First thing I would say is just be confident, because I think that goes a long way. And if you can know your content, but if your delivery isn't done in a confident way, no one is listening to you. So have that confidence. And even if it's something that you don't know, have that confidence in yourself to know that, guess what? I'm not too afraid to ask for help or ask that question. So just having that confidence, because I think that when you enter a room, if you have that confidence, it's going to exude to everyone that's sitting there. So just believe in yourself and just know that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to not know. And I think that you would get a whole lot of respect if you just acknowledge what you don't know and come back to a person versus just kind of shooting some stuff out there that is later found to be untrue. So have that confidence, and I think everything else will kind of fall in line.
Thank you, Dr. Whipps. Thank you. Dr. Warfield Sturdivant, what you got for the people on our way out the door?
You know what? We are so much alike because you took mine, Dr. Whipps. You took mine. But in addition to being confident, I would probably just say, and not being afraid to build your networks. And, just like, you all have mentioned, throughout tonight, building your networks. You never know when you may have to lean on someone. So, hey, go out, build your network, surround yourself with people that are on the same level and aspiring to do what you are doing. So, hey, as long as you do that, then, hey, you have, what I call them the heavy hitters, because, like Jocelyn, I'll be like, Jocelyn got a sped quit. I'm talking to people that don't even know her. I'm like, hold on, let me call Dr. Whipps. I know she knows. Dr. Whipps is also on speed dial for everybody in my family when it comes to, they all know her. So they will call her. So build your network. Build your circle of strong. Yes, build your network. Yes.
That is so awesome. You guys have been so amazing. Again, I cannot say thank you enough. Y'all know at this point, y'all know how we get out of here. Y'all know what we say. Drop it in the chat. Matter of fact, if you enjoyed this conversation at all tonight, make sure you hit the like button. Go ahead and hit it right now, right there. I think it's blue. No, yeah, it's blue. Click it right now and drop in the chat right now. Go make some boss moves this week. Remember, you have the power to lead people, program, places better than you found it, simply by showing up as the realest, most positive, most effective version of yourself. Y'all drop it in the chat. Go make boss moves this week. Y'all tell the folks, be boss, be boss.
Be boss. Thanks for
Be
having
boss.
me.